Before I start today, I need to have a quick chat with my friend Retha. Retha, what possessed you to ask me to do this eulogy? I can't even pronounce the name. I had to look up on the internet what it meant. But yep, I saw that I have to say something about you when you're not here anymore. Well, I think you made a big mistake. Firstly, you do know that I'm old. Secondly, my brain is very, very brain foggy from age and from illness. And yeah, I can ramble on a bit. So guys, if I bore you today, I'm very sorry. Retha, it's all your fault. You asked me to do it. But I'm here, and you know, I could never say no to Retha. If she asks me anything, I will say yes. So here I am today to share with you a few thoughts about Retha. Well, it's very difficult to describe her. She's been an extraordinary woman, and she had so many facets to her fascinating personality. First, she was actually, before she became ill, a highly successful career woman with excellent qualifications. And then the ME monster struck in the year 2012. And yep, like with so many of us, she could not work anymore and yep, struggling to survive. But that did not faze Retha. She quickly realized that people with ME in South Africa are in dire need of help. So she started with social media groups and created support groups and WhatsApp groups. And she started providing people with advice and help and resources. And she was the first person, actually, I think, who's done that. In 2016, she founded the MECFS Foundation. Now, there's about 110,000 people in South Africa with ME, and I think that figures might be a little bit outdated now, because long COVID, if you had long COVID for longer than 6 months, many people now do get diagnosed with ME. And yeah, the need is great. And the need is great, and Retha realized that, because in South Africa, there are no benefits. The government does not help. There are no resources from anyone except the MECFS Foundation. You know, about 85% of, between 75 and 85% of people with ME couldn't work. So when Retha started the foundation, she started with a few initiatives in that. She gave resources to the community. I know in some of her groups she had a list of doctors that are sympathetic towards ME. And she also created awareness that people know about it and what ME means. Retha take part in 2 very prominent TV programs, Carte Blanche for the South Africans, very, very well known. And you made a huge success of it. She did radio talk shows, she did newspaper interviews, she did exhibitions. And in 2017, she was actually part of Jen Bray's iconic film, Unrest, a film about ME, and which was worldwide acclaimed and won many, many prizes. A very, very wonderful documentary. If you haven't seen it yet, it's on Netflix. And then now, when she was so very ill, she worked together with Professor Retha Pretorius from the University of Stellenbosch for this exciting new study they have on people with ME and long COVID. She recruited a lot of us. We all had to trot to Pathcare and had our bloods tested, Retha first. And we went with our canes and with our wheelchairs and with our rollators or whatever. But yep, Retha said it's important, and it is. So we're all part now in South Africa, many of us, of this very, very exciting research, which we're waiting to hear the results from. Retha is well known all over the world for her advocacy work. She formed alliances with many, many international ME organizations. I know she was very close with the OMF, the Open Medicine Federation, who does research for ME worldwide. And when I announced her death, I don't even want to say that word, but when I announced it, there were an outpouring of grief and messages from all over the world, which was really wonderful to see. I cannot name all her achievements, it's too much. So I think I better just move on to Retha as a person. She had this amazing ability to make everyone feel valued, to feel special. And she had this huge empathy. She never judged anyone. She understood. And one could not help but to love her. Even when she was very ill, she was still very interested in all our problems and our petty little illnesses in comparison with hers. She had a huge network of friends with ME. She connected on WhatsApp. She was working mostly from bed, as many of us do. I do too. Funny to see me sitting up straight and all dressed and makeup today. Another thing you achieved, Retha, wonderful. But she worked from a bed, and she connected with so many, many people, helping them on a personal level, on a professional level, on a medical level. And she could do it in all languages. She's fluent in English and in Afrikaans. She's incredibly articulate and a natural and confident public speaker, which obviously was very, very good for the job she was in. When Retha got diagnosed with ovarian cancer, stage 3, it was a shock. All of us were very shocked. Retha was shocked herself. I just perhaps want to warn our MU community. You know, many times when we see a new symptom, we think, it's just a flare, it's just the ME. Sometimes it isn't just the ME, it can be something serious. And Retha actually wrote a few blogs about cancer and ME and the whole, everything around that. You could look it up on the internet. Well, Retha did not have a medical aid fund, so she went to the public system. I'm going to be very polite and not say it's bad. I'm going to say it's underfunded, and that's the truth, mind you. It's underfunded and, well, not managed very well. And so when she went in for treatment, they opened her up in an operation and they closed her and gave her a death sentence. We as her friends could not accept that. So we opened up a crowdfunding. And we appealed to the to the ME community to help Retha access private medical care in South Africa, which is excellent. The ME community responded amazingly. And money came in and messages of love and support and everything. And Retha could access private treatment. And she could have, well, she had loads of chemotherapy and another successful operation, and she got another 2.5 years to live, where she did amazing work for the ML community, and she was still there for so many people. I have to mention with the funding, one person, and before Retha died, that was actually the last word she said to me. She said, "Thank my fairy godmother." Now, there's a lady who lives in the UK. She's got severe ME. She's a lovely, lovely person. And she contributed massively towards Retha's medical care. She did it offline because obviously one saved a bit of money doing that. And thank you, fairy godmother. You and the ME community gave Retha 2.5 years of life, which no money, well, money it is so much more worth than money. So thank you. I really appreciate it. On behalf of Retha and the family, thank you. Thank you very much. Retha was a very positive and cheerful person. Despite the grueling chemotherapy treatments and all the tests and doctors and operations and pain and everything, she was always cheerful and happy, you know. I was a friend in times when she was really ill and was really suffering. But it wasn't a bad experience. It was good. It was positive. It was hopeful. And when she had her last operation, the medication caused horrible delusions. Horrible. That was the only time when I saw her upset. And but when she recovered, oh dear, did we laugh. Can I tell you one thing? When Retha does something, does it well. And she had the most entertaining delusions that you could think of. And we were really sort of going into that. I've got a psychology background, so yeah, we were wondering what has come out there. But this was how Retha was. She could always find something positive in anything. When the doctors told Retha her time was up, it was hard. But she accepted that. She was a big fighter. She fought as long as she could. But then she went into organizing mode, organizing for when she wasn't there anymore. We as a friends got her instructions. And well, at some stage, Retha said, you know what? I wish I could be a fly on the wall at my memorial. So she wanted to be here today, you know, fly on the wall. And to hear what the people would say of me. And that got me thinking, and about the same time, it got my friend Natalie Williams, also our friend, thinking. And actually we contacted each other and said, what can we do? Because it's true. You always hear the nice things about yourself when you're not there to hear it. So we got a little group together and we asked for advice. And our friend Villa Tuta came up with a brilliant idea of a kudu board. So we started plotting together behind Retha's back. At some stage she realized something was up and she said, what are you rats plotting behind my back? But she didn't know. And we contacted many, many people. I think I pestered many people. Sorry guys for what I've done, but I emailed and I messaged on Facebook, and because I couldn't do it publicly because we kept it secret from Retha. And when our kudu board went public, Retha, well, there was already loads of messages on it. It was the most beautiful messages. And Retha was so overwhelmed and so grateful and so happy. She didn't have to become a fly on the wall. She could hear what people think and experience it. And I think what it meant to her is that she did something with her life. She was only 55 when she died. But she did more in her life than most people would do in 3 lifetimes. And that messages on the kudu board brought it home. It also brought home that the end is near, which was very hard to face for all of us. But it is wonderful. By the way, the kudu board is still there. So if you want to leave messages, her family and her friends will really, really appreciate it. And I just want to say thank you for all of you who contributed to those messages and will still contribute to the kudu board. Retha was incredibly kind, loving, generous, giving and empathetic. She was highly intelligent. She was very organized with a deep insight in people, and her people skills were totally off the charts, unmatched. She knew always what was the best way to help, what was the best thing to do. She was a highly motivated person and also highly motivating. She was a shining example, and She coined the phrase, I'm hopeful. And that was her motto. And that became my motto too. And that became the motto of many of us. Because it doesn't matter what happened to her, she was always hopeful. And that's a beautiful philosophy to have in life. Retha loved her family, deservedly so. But and her children gave us so much support and so much love. But Natalie, Natalie, my brain, fog. But Claire and Stephanie, you know what you've done for her. You freed up her time that she could work for the Emma community, do what she loved. You were generous with her. And that's lovely. That you were able and you shared her with the Emmy community and with people who needed her. We will never forget that. Thank you. And we just want to say how sorry we are that you also now have to go through life without your Retha. I want to end by saying, Retha, I will miss you. I will miss our daily chats. I will miss our planning for what we're going to do. I would miss being able to talk to someone about anything without having to walk on eggshells. I will try to do what you ask me to do, but I will never be able to replace you. There are just one Retha. You are unique. No one exists in the world like you, and I will miss you every day. I will never forget you, but you will live on in my heart and in my memory and in my deeds, as you will live on in so many people's hearts and memories. Retha, I'm hopeful. Goodbye.